Did you know that the police, as well as other government agencies, have the ability to see through the walls of your house, office, or just about anywhere and effectively spy on you when you least expect it? In essence, your reasonable expectation of privacy within your house can be compromised with some very sneaky technology that the police do not want you to know exists. But there is a way to fight this technology and prevent this unwanted spying, and I will discuss that a little later in this video. The problem here does not lie within the technology itself. Rather, the problem is in how people choose to use it. In my opinion, the government at the local, state, and federal levels should be required to disclose the use of this type of high-tech spying whenever they're requesting a search warrant where they will be using this type of technology to ensure accountability, thus protecting our Fourth Amendment rights. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court has not yet chosen to take action and scrutinize the use of this technology and put rules in place to where, when, and how it can be used by law enforcement and other branches of the government. Without those checks and balances in place, it essentially allows law enforcement to continue to use this high-tech spying technology without any repercussions and continue to build, advance, and further the technology's abilities to invade our privacy. One of the biggest issues is that law enforcement's goal is to essentially keep this technology a secret by not fully disclosing its use and abilities, by instructing their officers not to hide or lie about it, but not to announce or discuss its use. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. One of these tricky pieces of technology they may use is called Range R technology. Range R is essentially a handheld radar system that is used to detect people through walls. Now, in cases of emergency like fire, floods, things like that, this might be a great tool to have to help save lives. But it can also be used by law enforcement to see if you are in your house and even where you are in your house. And it is dead on accurate too, with a probability detection greater than 95%, leaving less than a 5% chance for a false reading. Range R also has an effective range of up to 50 feet and can see through walls, floors, ceilings, and can see through concrete, wood, brick, glass, and other types of common construction materials. It is designed to be used with a single hand and can return results within 3 seconds of activation, displaying how far away the target is inside the structure, and has a 160-degree field of view. One of the limitations with Range R technology is that it has to be placed directly on an outside wall. But this can be done very easily and very secretively by using a monopod to place it against the wall. Then the officer can back off and watch the results remotely with an app that monitors the Range R device. Putting multiple units on multiple exterior walls can effectively give them a full scan of the entire inside of the house or facility, as they can link up to 4 Range R sensors. We have seen Range R technology being used by police and other government agencies since 2015, but there is an even greater technological device that they use as well. This newer form of spying technology we're now seeing that is used to see inside our homes is called the Xaver Technology. There are Xaver units that are handheld devices that must be attached to a wall, much like the Range R devices. However, there are also Xaver devices that can be used up to 100 yards, that is right, the length of a football field, away from the structure. Unlike the Range R, which just detects if there is someone inside the house, Xavers has the ability to track the movements of the subject or an object inside the structure. This technology also operates between 2 and 10 gigahertz, thus allowing it to have a much greater imaging result that provides 3D volumetric data. Now, I am no techno-geeko specialist, but in my opinion, this is pretty darn good technology. Almost Hollywood level tech. You know, the stuff seen in all those great spy movies. Again, this technology is wonderful when and if it is used for good, for finding people in a fire, for military purposes, and yes, even if there is a police standoff situation. But if it is used incorrectly, if it falls in the wrong hands, it can be used to simply spy on you and see what you are doing inside of your house. And the worst part is, this is the level of technology we currently know about. What other technologies do we not know about? The government is not going to let us in on all their latest and greatest top secret technological toys they have. I am sure there is an even better piece of equipment out there that is spying on us that far exceeds the abilities of Xaver and Xaver. But the big question is, what can be done to protect your privacy from this high-tech spy tech? One thing we should be doing is asking our legislators and the Supreme Court to step in and place reasonable laws and regulations in place to ensure that this technology is used safely and the use does not violate our Fourth Amendment rights. If they have to have a valid search warrant to use it, and that search warrant request is required to contain the type of technology that will be used, along with the reasonable time frames and other parameters, that can go a long way in protecting our Fourth Amendment rights. But currently, that is not the case. In fact, there are numerous counts where law enforcement is using it in a deceiving way. Oftentimes, we see the police and other government agencies disguise how they gather evidence with technological advancements. Oftentimes, they will say things like they had reasonable suspicion through confidential sources. But they never disclose that those supposed confidential sources were technology they used, not people like a confidential informant. The assumption when we see confidential source is that it was an individual, but it was in actuality a confidential piece of spying technology they used. This little trick of theirs helps keep the true identity of the confidential source hidden, so lawmakers and courts will not interfere with their use of these confidential spy gadgets. But there's a little known limitation of these radar imaging devices like Xaver and Xaver that could be used to help protect your privacy if you want to put in some work and help counter this type of spy technology. These radar detection devices can penetrate just about any type of wall: wood walls, concrete walls, sheetrock walls, brick walls, even glass. However, the biggest weakness is that they cannot see into metal buildings or through metal walls. The reason they cannot penetrate these types of walls is that the metal reflects, thus deflects, that signal from the device and essentially makes these devices completely ineffective. Now, what if they aren't spying on you through your walls? Rather, they have actual spy bugs like hidden cameras, hidden recorders, GPS tracking devices. Discover how professional TSM equipment can be used to help you find these types of spy gadgets in this video right here.